Today we're driving the 2023 Kia Sportage X-Pro Prestige all-wheel drive. This is an all-new Sportage for the 2023 model year. It has a 2.5-liter inline four-cylinder that's naturally aspirated. It only makes 187 horsepower and 178 pound-feet of torque. This ruggedized X-Pro version starts around $38,000 with destination and everything, so it's not cheap. But we've got some cool features in here. We'll walk you around this, show you what it looks like inside and out today, and take it for a drive and give you guys some thoughts on what it's been like to live with this week. Let's start outside, show you what this thing looks like. First thing you'll notice is this Kia Sportage is painted in jungle green. Pretty sharp looking color. It also has the blacked out roof. We get BF Goodrich Trail Terrain TA all-terrain tires in 235/65 R17. Nice and meaty looking, a little bit more of a highway-oriented all-terrain, but still, the tread compound still kind of looks like a KO2. Very unique looking front end. I do like the sharp, slightly more edgy styling of this new Kia Sportage. This is a slightly larger vehicle than the previous generation. Let's start out back. Power lifting tailgate. Tons of room in the back here. Really spacious. We get a compact spare tire, jack, tools, nice little cargo net back here, and then levers to fold down those rear seats. Look at all that space. Plenty of room back here to throw your mountain bike, furniture, or whatever you need to haul in your Kia Sportage. Speaking of the seats folded down, one complaint that I do have with Hyundai Kia products is that when the seat folds down, it can lock into place, and you have to go on both sides of the vehicle to unlock it and lift the seat back up. You can't just lift it up like you do in most cars. Apparently Kia doesn't quite trust gravity. And then when you do put them back, you have to readjust the backrest to whatever angle you want. It doesn't automatically return to a comfortable position. So a little bit more involvement there if you're always putting your seats up and down. This is a neat little place to put a tablet or phone. Lots of space back here though. We get an armrest with a couple of cup holders, two vents. No heated rear seats or anything like that. There's a little USB charge port right there and a hook to hang bags. That's useful. A little storage bin down here and a really nice looking panoramic sunroof. Pretty open, spacious cabin. I'm seated a little bit lower in this back seat. Can't quite see over the front seats like we do in some other vehicles with stadium style seating in the back. Pretty easy to get in and out of. Nice ingress and egress. I like how much these seats recline. Pretty comfortable seating arrangement. These LED daytime running lights are really bright, nice and sharp. Let's pop the hood, take a look at this 2.5-liter inline four-cylinder. This is rated for 25 miles to the gallon combined, low 20s for city, and 28 mpg on the highway. Takes 0W20 oil, regular fuel. Aside from like chunky looking BF Goodrich tires, this doesn't really get a whole lot in terms of off-road capability. It has 8.3 inches of ground clearance, a center locking differential, but that's really about the same as the standard Kia Sportage. Let's hop up front, show you around that, and then we'll take this for a drive. So, quite a lot going on here in the front seat. We've got heated and ventilated seats, a heated steering wheel. You can control all of that with these buttons right here. Here are your controls for drive modes. You have 4 options: normal, sport, smart, and snow. There is no dedicated off-road mode, though there is hill descent control. You also get a quick access button for your parking cameras. Views all the way around, 360, forward, reverse camera. Really nice and high resolution. Those look great. Your parking brake is over here to the left of the steering wheel, as well as gauge cluster illumination. One of 100 different settings. You've got a button here to pop the tailgate, traction control off, 2-seat memory settings, all of your mirror adjustments. You get auto up-down windows for the front passengers, but not the rear. And you've got this nice big infotainment screen, wired CarPlay and Android Auto. And then this, which I'm not too crazy about, is this switchable media and climate control menu. I wish they just put it all together. It's not like it saves a bunch of space, or like this is supposed to be a super minimalist cabin. There's a whole lot of buttons and things going on in this Kia. They've done this in the new EV6. That was the first iteration that I drove with this switchable panel, and I wasn't really a big fan of it. I think it just complicates things in ways that are unnecessary. And living with it day to day, it's just an extra input that you need to do. Steering wheel controls are pretty familiar. They look and feel very similar to what we see in a lot of other Kia models. We've got a fully digital gauge cluster. I will say the screens in these new Kia models are absolutely beautiful. The graphics, the resolution, the brightness looks really nice during the daytime. They're definitely some of the best looking displays in the business, in my opinion. We've got a few different menu views here. We can see our fuel economy, speed, navigation directions, all-wheel drive, torque distribution, attention level, and of course all of our cruise control settings and safety systems. This Kia Sportage also has a Harman Kardon sound system. We'll be sure to test that towards the end of the video. We have a decent amount of storage. I like this spot here to put your phone. That also is wireless charging. We get USB Type A and C charge ports. And check out these cup holders. Ready? Don't blink. Look at that. That's just fun. And I like that you can use this as a place to set a device or phone or a larger object, and it can also double as a cup holder when you need it. That's really pretty clever. Little center console there. There's your glove box. Pretty large sunroof, though it only goes back to that point. And then you can close everything all at once if you want. Nice, we'll leave that back though today. Nice and sunny day out. Okay, that's a pretty decent walk around. Let's take this for a drive and talk about its road manners. This 2.5 liter is mated to an 8-speed automatic transmission. It feels pretty similar to what we've had in a lot of other Kia products recently. It's a little bit laggy off the line, but I think it suits the character of this just being a regular, everyday crossover SUV. My only complaint is this engine just seems really unrefined, and it's a little bit low on power for a vehicle of this size and in this class. We'll let you guys have a listen here. Handling is okay. It's held back a little bit with these all-terrain tires, but I've got to say, for how much traction they probably provide off-road, they do handle very well on-road, and they don't make too many concessions for having a pretty aggressive tread pattern. They're quiet, they do well in the wet. Overall, pretty nice all-terrain, highway-oriented tire that looks a little bit more aggressive on this Kia Sportage X Pro. Let's engage highway driving assist. Usually I'm pretty impressed with these highway driving assist systems from Kia and Hyundai. Sometimes it's okay, it keeps a pretty straight path, but I do find it kind of wandering back and forth, and that can get a little bit annoying over longer drives. So I've mostly just turned off the lane centering and kept the adaptive cruise control engaged. A little bit of wind noise and road noise at speed. These seats are comfortable. I have a nice high driving position, very good visibility, especially out of the rear window. No major blind spots in this Sportage. One cool thing that you might not even be able to see on camera is that this has a heating element in the front glass, and you can defrost this front window just almost immediately in the morning, which is really nice for cold weather driving. Between that, the heated steering wheel, heated and ventilated seats, you're in pretty good shape for all weather conditions and being comfortable in this cabin. I also appreciate that the auto climate control has 3 settings for fan speed. So you can do auto climate 1, 2, or 3, and that pretty much takes care of everything you need as far as cabin temperature. Suspension is nice and soft in this Kia Sportage. I have had quite a bit of noise over bumps and a little bit of cabin intrusion over larger potholes in this Kia Sportage. We'll see if we can find a rough section of road and show you what that sounds like. I think ride comfort is good, but ride refinement and feel and perceived quality leaves a little bit to be desired with the suspension. Should we put it into sport mode? You can see the gauge clusters change there. Sounds like there's a little bit of artificial sound there from the engine too. It almost sounds like 2 engines going on at once, which is a bit strange. No paddle shifters behind the wheel, though we do get selectable gears down here with a plus and minus forward back action with this shifter. There's also a smart drive mode, which will adapt to your driving style. That's pretty much what I've been leaving it in all week. Gosh, what a brilliant idea with these turn signal cameras. Off-road in the Kia Sportage, well, on a dirt road in the Kia Sportage X Pro. Car tends to bounce around quite a bit on washboarded sections of road. Let's hit a bump here, see how that does. And we don't really have a lot of ground clearance here to tackle too many off-road scenarios. I haven't taken this off-road very much, so I don't have much experience with how the traction control system operates or how that center locking differential works. Basically, all that does is just create a 50-50 torque split front and rear. For the most part, this Kia Sportage drives pretty well, but ultimately I'm left a little bit disappointed with the quality of the engine and the suspension. I think it could just use a little bit more refinement, especially for the price point here at over $38,000 as tested with this Prestige X Pro. I do like that we get smaller wheels with larger, chunkier tires, a little more sidewall. That definitely helps. And it feels like all we've been testing the last few weeks are these soft rotor trims. I think from an aesthetic standpoint, this looks pretty darn good. Functionally, it doesn't really add much in terms of off-road capability or ruggedness, but if looks are what you're going for, which I think is kind of the general trend here, except for the wilderness packages from Subaru. The Outback and Forester Wilderness do add quite a bit of off-road capability, and they can tackle a trail. Everything else, though, seems to fall a little bit short in terms of comparison to those options, but I don't know, I think for being a soft rotor package, this actually drives pretty well on road, makes few concessions, it looks good. I think it works. All right, let's tackle one more entrance ramp here. You can see Smart has immediately switched into sport mode as it's turned red down there on the gauge cluster. 0 to 60 in this Sportage is over 9 seconds. All right, and while we're just cruising, let's go in and listen to this Harman Kardon sound system. Nice big touchscreen, pretty easy of a reach too. We'll go turn up our volume, switch to the media display, a few more inputs than I would like. I guess I could also do it on the steering wheel here. See if that cuts down on road noise just a little bit. To be honest, I'm not impressed with this Harman Kardon. It's pretty weak for being a branded sound system. Not a lot of bass at all, not very clear, just feels kind of like the engine, a little bit underpowered. Disable everything there. All right, guys, well, those are my thoughts on the new 2023 Kia Sportage X Pro Prestige. I think the high points here is that this new Kia Sportage offers a lot of space for people and cargo in this class. Low points, would like to see a little bit more refinement and quality out of the way this car drives. The suspension's a bit of a letdown. It's just a little bit noisy and kind of cheap feeling over bumps. If you don't live in an area with rough roads, you're not going to notice it. It's got great tech and integration of features here. Love these screens. I think it's attractive inside and out. So it kind of depends on what you're looking for in a vehicle like this. All right, guys, that'll be it for this one. Thanks for watching. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments. Stay tuned for more videos coming later this week. We'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.